We're now joined by the pole sitter for Sunday's AAA Texas 500, Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford. This is Carl's first career pole at Texas Motor Speedway. It's the third time he started on the front row. He's a three-time winner and the winningest Sprint Cup Series driver here at Texas Motor Speedway. And as a side note, the last two winners at Texas Motor Speedway have started on the pole.
Awesome.
So hopefully you can continue the trend.
We'll just call it a race right now, then. We're good to go.
Talk about your qualifying lap.
If I didn't know we were going to be that fast, I'd have shaved when we were doing this media. But now the guys have worked so hard. This is all about the guys. We came here, picked this as one of our tracks to test. The guys came out here and sat for days in the rain trying to get some laps in. And then finally we got to come out here the week after that, tested for 3 days. I think we were the last team to load up and go home at the end of the 3 days. And my guys just put in a lot of hard work. The engine ran really well. I don't think the lap was that spectacular from a driving standpoint. I messed up a little bit off of turn 2, but turns 3 and 4 were great, and we got the pole. So just a lot of fun. It's so neat to be able to, you get a pole and you guys brought us to victory lane. All the guys get to celebrate. That's really a lot of fun. So big day for us.
Start with questions, Holly, and then Reed, Wolfgang.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. I'll wait till you.
How's it going?
Good.
I can drink and listen at the same time. I just can't. Sorry. I was trying to think of something clever to say, but I'm no Ryan Newman. No. I'm trying. I gotta give him. That was clever in itself, wasn't it? Look at that. I didn't even mean to do it.
Now I've lost my train of thought.
I should have said Matt Kenseth. It's more fun to pick on him right now. But all right.
My question to you is, obviously when the regular season ended, you were leading the points, and the chase probably hasn't gone exactly as you would like. However, this is a nice bright spot, and I imagine this is something to build on. If you could just kind of put it all.
That's nice. You're like a therapist right now. That's great. I told Marty Smith, we started off real slow and easy in the chase, and we backed it down from there. When the chase started, truly, we sat in that meeting and we thought, how about that? We've got 2 wins. We're leading the points. I mean, we can do this. We can go out and we can lead these last 10 races and win this thing. And it has not happened that way. Obviously, some guys have really stepped it up. I mean, for Jimmy and Matt and those guys, the 29 bunch, Kevin, I mean, all those guys have stepped up. Even, Jeff Gordon, he's back in the mix. So as a company, everyone has recognized that at Roush Fenway Racing. I spent an hour or two with Robbie Reiser this week, and that man is working as hard as any person I've ever seen to make sure that we can beat these guys, not just this year, but next year and beyond. So we recognize that we can be better and that we need to be better. And I think Greg's run at Martinsville last week was a turning point for us. I think the speed that he had was huge, and I believe that that this pole and hopefully a solid run here by not just me but Ricky and Greg and the whole Ford RFR camp, I think that'll hopefully give those guys a little bit of something to show for all their hard work, because they've been really working hard at the shop. And yeah, we recognize this chase has not gone well, and that's spurred a lot of hard work. Thanks.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. After the wiggle off at turn 2, did you still think you had a shot at the pole, and do you think the late draw had any effect at all?
The late draw saved us there. That wiggle, the car got loose off of 2, and I definitely saw our pole hopes fade right there. I did not think it was going to happen. But then it went through 3 and 4 really, really well. I don't know that I'd have to go back and watch, but I don't know that anybody could have gone through there much better. That car was very fast through there, and the engine ran so well. Doug and the guys did a great job with the engine. So overall, I believe the car is a lot better than that lap even. And I know a lot of guys could go back and say they could run a faster lap. All of us we can always do that. But I believe our car really is even better than that. I'm really excited about race practice tomorrow and the race. Looks like the weather's going to be good, a lot like what we tested in, and hopefully we can apply all that stuff and really benefit from it.
We'll go to Wolfgang and Jim.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Ranchmont Press Agency. After testing, you mentioned earlier and also yesterday practice, you know what kind of areas at the car has to be improved to drive pole here?
Yes, so we have a lot of areas that we're working on as a group, some very specific things that we're working on to be better. The test here showed us that this track is very, very difficult for a number of reasons. And they're all good. The tire falls off very quickly. The track takes rubber, so it changes as we ran on it. The track changed a lot. I think you're going to see one of these races on Sunday where there's guys running right on the white line and there's guys running right on the outside wall, trying to make time. And I think there will be 4 or 5 distinct grooves in the corners. And that's one of the biggest things we learned in testing. And it actually made it very difficult to test. But the 3 days and Jimmy's plan, I believe, kept us going on the right track. And obviously paid off. I mean, there's nothing tougher than to win a pole, especially at a place like this during the chase when everybody's got their best stuff out there. So we're all very proud of this.
Jim.
Jim Uttershaw, Observer. You mentioned just a few minutes ago about, I think, talking with Robbie about how he's already working ahead towards next season. You got 3 tracks left. You've won here 3 times. Roush's car is typically very good at Homestead. You won the spring race at Phoenix. What is the opportunity here for you at the end of this season, and what would you like to accomplish before in these last 3 races?
I'd like to win the championship. I don't know if that's in the cards, but I can tell you that we will go to these last 3 races to win all 3 races. I mean, there is nothing we are not bringing to the racetrack equipment-wise, effort-wise right now. So we're just coming here to win, and for us, it's really about gearing up for next season. I've never believed in momentum. I've never, you guys have proved me wrong, and so I guess what I'm saying is that we would really like to, no matter what the points situation, to finish this season strong, because I believe it will help us to get started next year. And there are a lot of things changing, but overall, to keep you guys motivated, keep everybody looking forward, I think these final 3 races wins would be great. Yeah, I couldn't pick a better 3 tracks to go to. I mean, I love racing here. We tested, had a great race. Obviously, we ran really well at Phoenix. And then Homestead, for some reason, that track is just, it perfectly suits me and the way our cars work and the engines. So yeah, they should be really good. At the very least, we'll have a good time. I mean, we'll have some fun, which is something it's easy to forget that's a big part of it,
Lee?
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. You're a little apprehensive when Jimmy took over the team at the beginning of the year. What would be, how would you describe your relationship now?
Well, I wouldn't say I was apprehensive, but I definitely was curious to see how it was going to go. You never know. I mean, you never know how things are going to work, but I've thought a lot about it as I've worked with Jimmy and as I've watched how he works. He is the definition of a racer. I mean, he wants to win and wants to beat all of these guys every week so badly. I mean, he wears it right there on his sleeve every week, and I don't think you could choose to go to battle with a better guy. I mean, he's awesome. Well, what's very interesting about Jimmy is that he's a cross between both. I mean, him and Bob Osborne were very similar in a number of ways. They are similar in a number of ways. They're very methodical. I think if Jimmy Finnick had come on the scene 30 years later, he would have gone to engineering school. He would be an engineer. And the way he's one of those guys that understands how everything works so well that he can, if there's any weakness that he has, he will find some way to fill it and make up for it by using his engineers or asking folks for help. He's a guy that has, he's not a prideful guy. He just goes out and gets the job done no matter what it takes, and it's pretty spectacular. I don't know that he's much different than Bob, though. They were both guys that were just problem solvers, but they came from a different spot, but both very good problem solvers.
Stan?
Hey, Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. I know that at most tracks, qualifying has nothing to do with what you have to do during the race. But unless my memory is going really bad, Texas is kind of close. How close was your qualifying to what you really need in the race?
Well, I think the difference between Texas and some of the other mile-and-a-halves is the pavement and the way it works with the tires. And if you saw a lot of guys in qualifying today are able to get the cars sideways and still keep a ton of speed. And so I don't know why it's this way, but it feels like the tracks that are like that are a little more, it feels a little more old school, and generally your qualifying effort is a better reflection of your race car. Because, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's more mechanical grip in play. Maybe it's the drivability of the car has to be there. But right now I'm believing it. You know, it really matters how you qualify. You know, whether or not you're going to run well at Texas. That's what I'm preaching right now. I hope.
Any other questions? Carlotta?
Hi, Carl. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Carlotta Schmidtgen, Hill Country Happenings Magazine. Talking about you and Jimmy's relationship, when he says, let's go ahead and bring you into pit now, say green flag stop. What if you have a gut feeling that you want to stay? Do you ever get those feelings like they're getting ready to have
Yeah.
a caution? I really want to stay out instead. Who has the final say in you coming in?
Depends on how close to the end of the race it is. Because if it's real close to the end of the race, I know he'll still be really, really mad, and so I'll generally just go with whatever he says. But early in the race, I might, I might hope he gets over it. But it's his call, and I'll never forget one meeting I had. It was with Chad. Chad Norris took on the crew chief role when Bob got sick, and it was at Bristol. And he said, "Come to the pit road," and I did not. And he was so mad at me. And after the race, he, Jack Roush, and Robbie Reiser, and I screwed it all up. We ran out of gas. It was terrible. I mean, I should have come. And they had a meeting, and they explained to me all the reasons why you have to do what the crew chief says. And it's because they have they have a better view of what's going on. And in Jimmy's case, he has so much experience. If he says to do something, it might be for reasons that I'd never thought of. So I generally do what Jimmy says.